3, 4, 5 lights here in Saudi Arabia. We are underway for the second race here in LGN Season 3. AJP's first. Lunda's gone straight into P2. There's contact in the middle, and Lunda's had an incident involving, I think it's GRL Crisp in the Alfa Romeo. AJP leads. Blazer finds himself in P2. The Williams driver, LJ in P3. Dom in P4. Lungner, after that incident right at the start, in P5. Sizzling Harvey is in 6th. Totally GD is in 7th. As we go on board with Dom, you can see Lungner battling away as Dom tries to catch LJ in P2. You can see Blazer, Lungner, Sizzling H, all following LJ. And then Dom, as Lungner gets the overtake on Blazer in the distance. AJP gets the fastest lap. There's 5 cars in the midfield, and Lungner leads the 5 cars, and Lungner goes into the pits, but Lungner's going to get a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So we go on board with Totally JD, the Williams driver, currently in P3. Sizzling Harvey just behind, and you can see Harry Sanchez going down the inside of Sizzling H, and JC just behind. 4 cars all battling for P3, and Totally JD leads the 4 drivers. You can see the Alfa Romeo of Sizzling H going quite wide, but the battle continues then between Totally JD and Harry Sanchez on his debut. They're side by side, and Harry Sanchez, the Red Bull driver, makes the move on Totally JD here on lap 2. JC completing the move on Sizzling H, and he finds himself now in P5. That's good driving from the 4 drivers all battling for this P3 position. We have JC now in P4, has Totally JD behind him. Both drivers will be happy with their current positions here on lap 3. As you can see, Totally JD is gaining on the Ferrari driver, but JC's got space out in front of him. You can see Harry Sanchez just ahead, as there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, and AJP gets the fastest lap of this race so far. Totally JD then going down the inside of JC, and he's going to make the move up into P4. They almost make contact, the Williams driver and the Ferrari driver, and you can see in the distance behind them is Jack, the Alpine driver, trying to get in on the action. JC wants that position back. Totally JD gets it. Jack goes wide, back in the distance, and Totally JD has a 3-second time penalty, and he's going to cut the track there, and JC now gets past, and JC puts himself up into P4 here on lap 4. Around Totally JD, might squeeze it down the outside. Totally JD holds the inside line. They get very close. Jack's going to go all the way around the outside. Totally JD hugs the inside wall and defends well. And Jack now, both drivers on the soft compound here on lap 5. DRS then, as Totally JD goes into the pits and Jack stays out. So we go on board now. The 2 Williams drivers, they've got Sizzling H behind them, and Totally JD and Sizzling H make contact, and Sizzling H goes round the outside and gets the move done, goes slightly wide, but just about stays in P9. Totally JD goes down into P10, and Sizzling Harvey makes the move. So we go on board with Harry Sanchez, currently in P3. He's going to put the medium compound of tyre on. Jack also comes into the pits. Where will Harry Sanchez come out? LJ stays out and goes into P3. Harry Sanchez then is going to come out in P4 with GRL Crisp and JC battling just behind him. Totally JD now trying to get into P9. He's going neck and neck with Jack, the Alpine driver. Totally JD sends it down the inside and gets the move done. And you can see Ollie just behind them. Totally JD gets the move done on Jack and puts himself into P9. As the battle then between Sizzling H and Blazer, and there's contact, and Blazer has been span out by Sizzling Harvey. Jack gets a 3-second time penalty, but Blazer's back up and running, but loses the position to Sizzling H. Totally JD just about stays ahead, goes slightly wide though, and Jack might get a better exit, and then neck and neck again, these two, as Jack squeezes it round the outside. Does he get the move? He does get the move done. And now Ollie's in the battle as well, and now Ollie will fancy his chances around Totally JD, but Totally JD might just have to defend, and he does, and he switches back, and there's a retirement, and it's Blazer, and Blazer's out of this race. The Williams driver was doing okay this race, but he's had a spin, and that's going to cause a safety car here on lap 7. It's lap 10, and the safety car is coming in. AJP leads this race. Harry Sanchez is in second. Dom's in third. Jack's in P4. LJ's in P5. Then JC. Then Gerald Crisp. Totally JD. As you can see, the drivers back underway. The two Mercedes boys are at the back. And there's some moves there from LJ. There's contact. One of the Alfa Romeos, it's Gerald Crisp, has been spun. There's a yellow flag, and the two McLarens currently sit P1 and P2. Harry Sanchez is third. LJ's fourth. Jack's in P5. JC's in sixth. Tony JD's in seventh. As we go on board with the Alpha Tauri driver, has Jack behind him. JC gets a 3-second time penalty, and LJ is now fourth, hunting down P3. You can see in the distance Tony JD and Lungner and Ollie all going up positions, and that's going to see LJ maintain P4. Can he find any grip on those tyres to get into P3? We're about to find out. 2 laps to go. Lungner going down the inside of Sizzling H, gets the move done. Ollie might get obstructed there by the Alfa Romeo driver, but Lungner's got the move done, and Lungner's into P8, and Sizzling Harvey's in P9. Ollie's just behind. And then Gerald Crisp, as he goes slightly wide, and Ollie wants to try and get the move done, but it doesn't happen yet. You can see someone's front wing goes off. I think it's Jack, and Jack's gone wide, and Lungner and Sizzling H and Ollie all get moves done, and they all go up a position. All the drivers are very close here with only 2 laps to go. Lungner's now up into P5. Tony JD's up into P6. JC is in P4, and that's Gerald Crisp, and that's going to see Gerald Crisp retire from this race, and his front wing is gone, and is now about P7. As Sizzling Harvey has to defend Ollie, but Ollie gets the move done. Lungner goes down into P6. Tony JD getting the move done. As Sizzling Harvey now goes wide, he's got LJ just behind him. LJ was in P4, and now he's fallen all the way down into P9. Lungner having to defend from the Tony JD in the Williams, and Ollie is trying to attack Sizzling Harvey here. And now we're on board with Lungner. Lungner in P5, has JC ahead of him. You can see Tony JD just behind him. JC, only his second race here in the LGN League, and he's currently in P4. Has Lungner just behind him. Lungner's going to try and get that P4 position just like he did around Bahrain as they come around the corner. JC under pressure. You can see Tony JD going wide there in the distance. Sizzling Harvey's going to get the move done into P6 as JC still now having to defend Lungner. Lungner's gaining on the Ferrari driver here on lap 12. 1 lap to go. JC still leads, and Lungner's had a spin, and Lungner's lost his front wing, and that's going to see Sizzling Harvey and Williams driver of Tony JD and Ollie and LJ all get the move done, and Lungner's going to go all the way down, tumbling down the order into P9. He was doing so well. He was P5. He was putting pressure under the Ferrari driver, but he's had a spin, and now he's got no front wing and finds himself in P9. Race control have enabled DRS. So, AJP leads, Dom's in second, Harry Sanchez is in third, JC's in fourth, Sizzling Harvey's in fifth, Ollie's in sixth, and LJ's in seventh. As we go on board then with Totally JD, currently in P8, as LJ just ahead of him on the soft compound of tyre. You can see Ollie just ahead of them as well. As LJ goes slightly wide, and Totally JD gets the move done into P7. LJ going wide on the last lap of this race. Totally JD up into P7. Is there to be any final drama on this last lap of this race? JC is under pressure from Sizzling H. The Ferrari driver to defend Lungner earlier is now having to defend Sizzling H. Sizzling H now trying to put more and more pressure on the Ferrari driver. You can see Ollie is just behind them as well. And there's 3 cars. And Sizzling H makes contact but gets the move done. And it's AJP who crosses the line here in Saudi Arabia and wins the second LGN League race this season, and brings home a ton of points for McLaren in this year's early fight for the constructors. Dom, his teammate, comes home in P2, and Harry Sanchez, the Red Bull driver, on his LGN debut, finds himself on the podium in P3. Sizzling H on the last lap overtook JC and finishes in 4th. JC finishes in 5th. Ollie's in 6th. Tony JD brings it home in 7th. LJ in 8th. Luna comes home in P9, and Jack gets the final point in P10. AJP gets his first win here in LGN for the second race of Season 3. McLaren get the 1-2 with Dom coming home in second. And Harry Sanchez on his debut comes home in P3. What an exciting race we've had today. We hope you've enjoyed as the drivers celebrate their podium. Thank you for watching today's video. Australia is next, and we will see you next week. After today's race in Saudi Arabia, here are the drivers' standings. Dom's in first on 36 points. AJP's in second. Levi is in third. Evan in P4. Harry Sanchez in P5. Lugner's in 6th. LJ in 7th. JC's in 8th. Sizzling H is in 9th. Ollie's in 10th. GRL Crisp finds himself in 11th. Totally JD is in 12th. Jack is in 13th. Blazer in 14th. And Entire YOLO in 15th. Here are the constructors' standings so far. McLaren are first on 71 points. Red Bull are in second. Alpine in third. Mercedes in fourth. Alfa Romeo are in fifth. AlphaTauri are in sixth. Ferrari are in seventh. And Williams are in eighth. Thank you for watching today's video. We'll see you around Australia next week.